It's been quite long ever since we met here in the Umbrella Show. I welcome you with open arms. I hope whatever you are doing quite great. And it's another new week and we get to meet here. I am Dalila Hamza. And we also talk about issues which are affecting the youth and actually look at different organizations and how they're impacting the society. And that's our daily routine that's been happening here in the Umbrella. And if you're new to the show, our show is based on uplifting the youth and looking at matters that will actually change our nation from one phase to the other. Joining me in the studio in my left is a man of integrity, a businessman, who is Joram Nzuki, and he is the manager of Eliash, and he's going to tell us more about Elisham and how it does in the market. But more so, in our lives, we've seen the hustles of the youth and what things we do, and how do they make us different from any other people. And striving in the COVID-19 era, it's quite hectic. And my guest over here, how are you, Joram?
I'm fine. Thank you.
You're welcome to the show, and we look at the hustles of what really happens in the real ground. Wanasema pale chini, what is happening on the ground, and especially our youth and their hustles. How are they faring? And that's why I saw it necessary, you as my audience, to actually invite Joram and discuss the journey of how he started from just quite a small capital to where he is. Joram, the journey of your life is quite interesting. We see that you kind of you did sell potatoes from one door to the other, and you just made sure that nitaomoka, it's my turn and I will do it. Joram, yes. Basically, as we kick off, let's talk about who you are. Who is Joram Nzuki in particular? Let's start from underground, whereby you started working when you were second year.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm very sure out there with my viewer that there are a lot of been challenges out here. And we've seen that after graduation, because a lot of graduates, after graduating, they do not have a place to go. So were you one of the people who got lucky to get the career that you chose to have?
I can't as well just say that I am lucky, but sometimes, you have to look for that opportunity.
You seize the opportunity.
The opportunity cannot just come for you. You have to go and search for it. And to begin with, I can just highlight that I started working at a early age when I was at the second year at the university. And bearing in mind that when you look at the face of Kenya, you find that many graduates do not have jobs. Then I said, for me, I will not wait for that time to come. I started preparing myself early in advance. And I said, I'll look for that job regardless of my
a go-getter. You have to. Okay.
Regardless of my academic position. Then I just said, I'll start looking for that job as little is for that knowledge that I had at that time. Bearing in mind that being a second year, as a student at the university, some people will just see and say, I have nothing to do. Then that's where I said, I'll go and look for a job, and got one, whereby I was just a small clerk in a logistic company. And then it happened that pale nimeajiriwa kazi, kufanya, ikafika point whereby niko na uwezo wa kufanya mahesabu. Nilikuwa nataka sana kufanya mahesabu. So when the director of that company saw that I am capable, I was given a chance to
prove yourself.
Yes, to do some calculations concerning fueling of trucks, doing the route planning. That is, kama umepatiwa hesabu ya gari, itoke, let's say like from Nairobi to Kampala, you are able to account for all the expenses and make sure that that truck comes back with a profit. And then when I proved to myself that I can do it, I did it for quite some time. I did it to a point whereby I had to quit that job.
So you had to take a quit right there because of its
Oh, okay. It happened that during that time, transport was affected by the SGR.
Okay,
And the effect of SGR meant some people losing their jobs, I being one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, then wakati kazi pale iliisha, we had to look for other means of survival. Ndio sasa nikatafuta kazi mahali kwingine, nikaipata huku Mombasa. Then that's how I moved from Nairobi to Mombasa, whereby I started working as a credit controller manager. Then tukafanya, up to now it's what I am doing, apart from managing other businesses.
On top of that, I'm so curious to know or understand. Okay, you started working at when you were second year in university, the capital. How did you manage to raise a capital such as that to start the businesses that you own right now, and the type of businesses? Maybe if you highlight to our audience there, what do you actually do? Which kind of businesses do you run, your hustles?
Okay, okay. What I can say is that actually I'm a business person. I run. I had that inch to start my own business and be my own boss. So now that unaweza kuwa leo kwa kazi, kesho uko kazi, lakini wakati uko kwa biashara yako unajua it is something which is very difficult for you to lose that job, because you are your own boss. And in that case, I say that I should start my own business, despite being employed in some other companies. Then I said I should start a small business for my upkeep. You know, wakati umeajiriwa, wakati mwingine unaweza patiwa mshahara ambao ni duni, haitakuwezesha zile mahitaji uko nazo na za familia yako. And I said I should.
Why not? You said, why not? I should definitely jump into that.
Yeah. So that's how I said, wacha niingia kwa biashara. Then kidogo tu ile kamshahara kidogo unapata, I had to save a little bit of it so that I can have enough capital to run my business. Kaanza kidogo kidogo nikakuwa na enough capital. Nikaanzisha biashara ya kuuza chips.
How was it like? Let me just make me understand. How was it like? You know, those challenges, maybe you passed through there, you're selling potatoes, and then people shunned their doors at you, because I believe there are certain things that you went through at that particular moment. Didn't you think about giving up at that age?
Definitely. To speak the truth, I said no. Despite having all those challenges, I did not see the reason as to why I should give up. Because, you know, sometimes if I imagined that if today I give up, tomorrow I'll as well start something else and give up. Then I said, no, I should not give up. Let me just push on until something happens. Because, you know, you can't starting something and then you have some challenges, you stop it, you go start another one. It will just be like a routine of doing useless things. And you see, sometimes we usually say that any kind of business that you think of starting, if you manage it well, it can as well excel. So I said, mimi sitafunga biashara yangu. Kwa pale kuna changamoto, yes, lakini siwezi funga. Kupambana nazo. Let's say like biashara ya kuuza chips, kuna kuuza waru, naamka saa 10 pale. Unaenda sokoni kung'ang'ana pale na wale watu wa mama wa sokoni kule hizo masaa saa 10, saa 11.
Wewe ni baba.
Sasa uko kule saa 10, saa 11 mnang'ang'ana huko kwa magunia za waru. Watu wengine ni sawa, walikuwa naona sifai, lakini wacha nifanye tu. You know, kama uko na hitaji ya pesa ni lazima usukuma kufanya jambo fulani. Then I said I should not give up. Kang'ang'ana pale. Nikauzauza for a little bit of sometimes. Until niliona sasa naweza pata capital ya kusimamia. Nichukue nyumba, nilipe rent, niweke apparatus za kutengeneza chips and all those other issues, simply because it needed a small capital outlay to start it. That's how I had that idea.
I was wondering, Joram, maybe when you were in university at your second year, did you get money from help in a way? Because most of the time, the young generation, especially the students who are in the university, get help, and they tend to like, okay, they use the money, others use it wisely, and others also at the same time, you find them buying Subaru, such things, you know, partying along, you know.
Yeah.
And there's that mentality also that has been there, that so long as I am actually having this career, I will definitely work at this. I cannot settle for something else. So how is that to you?
Okay, for me, you know, I was not sponsored by
Help, yeah?
Yeah. Though I had a chance, but I said I will not apply for it. Then
Why
I
not?
said, let me just struggle by my own. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I will come to pay this loan. You know, help is a loan.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when you get employed, you will come to pay it. So I said, I should not, I don't need that burden at that time when I will be employed. If I will be employed, let that, the little that I will get, I channel it into my own things, my own businesses. Then I said I should not apply for it.
Okay.
Then I said, sawa, wale wameapply tutasaidiana kule mtaani. Wewe ukikuwa na pesa yako nyingi, ukinipatia kidogo, sawa.
You still work with. Do you actually get along with the youth, like whatever you're doing at the moment? I believe that according to what I've learned about you, Joram, is that you had to wake up at 4 and manage your own businesses before setting your foot to the actual employment area that you're in. How do you manage to kind of, okay, balance the two from 4 to 7? How is that like?
You know, okay, you know, sometimes it is good whereby you don't have to sleep too much. If you're gonna say that you're going to depend on your employer, on your little salary that you're getting, and by the end of the month, you utilize the full amount and you're left with nothing to save, nothing to do your own developments. Then I said, let me just push myself and do a little bit of some business so that I can have my own.
You can have a backup plan.
Yes, a backup plan, such that if tomorrow I can't wake up and go to the office, I'll have somewhere else. If tomorrow the offices will be shut down, I'll have my own something that I can do at my own time, you know, that I can depend on. And you know, sometimes the salary is, we usually say that salary is never enough.
It's never enough.
Even if you're given 1 million, you still
What was the, talking about salary, what was your first salary like? You know, you're just out of there. A lot of things are going through your mind at the moment. And you have responsibility at that time, you know, because you're from the university, maybe the hassles that you do, the family members will be like, you know what, Joram, I really do need this kind of assistant at the moment. I mean, how did you take such a situation like?
Okay, what I can say, my first salary was around 20,000.
Okay, 20,000. That's a good start.
20,000, when you budget it, you find that able to find a sub kulipa rent. Let's say, for example, kulipa rent ya 5,000. Upatie shopping, let's say like 5,000. That is 10. Already you are left with another 10.
10, yeah.
Now these 10 you are left with, you have your mother, you have your parents. Now that washakusomesha, lazima wapatie kitu kidogo.
Yeah, you have to return it, definitely. Yes.
Sasa pale wapatie kitu kidogo. Let's see, like how much tupatie gapi?
Like 3K?
3K. So that is to mean you are left with the 7,000. The 7,000 you are left with will be transport. You know, pale kuna transport ya kwenda kazi kila siku na kurudi. So you find that at the end of the day, if you budget that 7,000 remaining, unapata hata saa zingine utaenda bila pesa. So that suddenly hautapata kitu ya kusave kabisa.
So when you get salary, you're always complaining, like because it's the end of the month, and I come to you, I call you like, Jared, I need 5K right now.
Yeah.
Probably, and then maybe you were not doing business at that time. It will be hard.
Yeah, it will be hard. Actually, you can't get. Hautapata kitu ya kusave hapo, hata unapata za zingine even a credit ya 100 huwezi pata kwa sababu ile pesa yote shatumia tumeisha. So 20,000 for me it was a little. It was not enough. Then I said, now that I imagined that starting with the 20, I was not sure if I could go to my boss na nimwambia niongezee mshahara kama ataongezea. Then I said, what next can I do? It is to start your own business. Pale ile pesa kidogo unapata you chip in. So pale ni lazima unichinyime, wakati mwingine unatembea na miguu badala ya kulipa matatu, ndio at least ukuje kusave kidogo. A little bit I tried to save at that time, though it was challenging, but I had to save. Naenda za zingine nakaa nyumbani nasema leo sitakula, I have to save.
So you starved, actually, starving. You know, when you talk about starving, Joram, it's quite hard to actually contemplate in a way.
Yeah, sometimes.
I want you to talk about actually to talk about also how you manage. You haven't answered me yet. How did you manage actually to like work from 4 a.m. to 7 p.m. before actually going to your working place?
Okay, you know, there is something we call time management. And in time management, when you wake up, for me, I had my schedule that I should wake up at 4, go to the market, I do some shopping. Then I had something back in my mind that by saa 2 nafaa niko ofisini mahali nimeajiriwa. So nilikuwa niamke, I sacrifice my time mapema, sometimes naamka hata saa 9. Naanza kupanga vitu pale, najipanga mambo yangu vizuri. Saa 10 naingia kwa gari, naenda nachukua mali yangu, nakuja nafanya supply haraka kwa customers, napatia kila mtu mzigo yake kulingana na order yake. Then you know, because I did not have enough time nikumpatia, I just dropping na ninaacha wewe ukifanya mahesabu yako, jioni nikija na kujia pesa yangu.
That's a daily routine now.
That was my daily routine. So you find that pale ilikuwa ni lazima niamke saa 9. Nijipange saa 10 niingia kwa matatu niende ni sokoni. So it was very challenging, maana unajua hiyo masaa ya usiku. Maybe utapatana na wakora.
Yeah.
So bado tuko na woga. So mimi nitaingiana na wamama pale twende sokoni. Ndio nichukue waru zangu, nilete kwa tuk-tuk, nifikishe mtaani. I do some supplies kwa customers wangu. Then mimi naingia kazini I had to make sure that by saa 1 nishafanya my first session.
So it's all about scheduling yourself.
Yes. Actually I had like 2 sessions. But the first session inaisha by 6:40. Then after that naanza kujitayarisha kwa session ya pili ambayo sasa ni kwenda kazini. Whereby I had to go and work up to 5. After 5 now it is when I should go back and see where I left. Then nimalizie. Yes, so you find that. Saa zingine nilikuwa nakaa nimechoka sana kwa pale kazini, unajua sasa nishafanya the first session nishafanya nimechoka. So hii ya pili nikienda sawa nitafanya kazi, lakini a little bit nitakuwa nimechoka, lakini I had to get used to it. Yeah.
So it came automatically. If you're joining us, this is the Umbrella Show with me, Dalila Hamza. The Umbrella Show talks about matters that are affecting the society, and we talk about how the youth are always managing the ways to which they could uphold what they have to make a better future for our country and home as well. In the matter of fact, we're talking about the hassles of the youth, what really goes on. Now we're talking about the underground, like what really happens at the field and what are the youth doing at the moment in particular. You can also share your view concerning the same issues, like what the kind of hustle that youth need to embrace at this particular time instead of waiting for a job to be hired, especially the graduates who actually graduate every single year and wait for a particular kind of job. In the studio, as you see, is my guest Joram, who is a businessman who started out of zero and now is turning into be a hero, Mosor. Now, let's dive into the right matter. You've talked about all those issues concerning where you started, how you do your business, and all of guard. I want us to dive into the woman in the society. Do you have a sister or family or female gender? Because I'm not trying to be a female chauvinist, trying to talk what is real. Now, the market and the hustles which are there. Do you think that our ladies especially, or what kind of advice would you give to a young entrepreneur, especially the ladies' side? Because we've seen the moment you and your sister maybe in one particular roof are in the house, you see the parents be like, Joram, now you are a big man, get yourself out of here and go hustle for yourself because your share has been depleted. And the ladies' side is always like, okay, she's delicate, she's still looking for life. At the end of the day, she'll get married. There's no way that she could be she'll be inheriting the other side, you know? It's always about delicacy, the woman. We don't mind being treated delicately, but in a way, do you think that women, what kind of advice would you give to the youth, especially in the hustles which they're doing at the particular moment in terms of, is it that they're the same between the male and the female? We should all compete for the same hustles, or what is it? What's your take on that?
Okay, for me, I would as well highlight and say that when it comes to business, anybody can start a business.
Okay.
Be it a lady, be it a man, you have the equal opportunities.
The resources are quite the same.
For me, I can say, actually, ladies, it is like they are most privileged.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because you look at the majority of the business that you have to start with a small capital, majority are in the line of ladies. Like, let's say, for example, ukiangalia kule mtaani zile biashara ndogo ndogo utapata nyingi ni zile ziko kwa line ya wanawake. So unapata mwanaume sawa utaanzisha, lakini utakuwa pale it's like you alone. So utakuwa pale mnangangana na the other ladies. Lakini for me, I can say, if you're a lady and you want to make it, you can as well do it. For example, you look at a case whereby, okay, for me, I'm married. I have my wife. Wakati tulioana, nikuja ikafika point whereby tukianza kuulizana mambo ya pesa, how are we going to do our own developments? Nilimwambia, unajua, unaweza ukaanza biashara ya kuuza nguo. Na you find that kwa sababu wanawake hupenda sana kununua manguo sana. You know, wakati tuko pale kwa sokoni tukinunua manguo, I mean tukiuza nguo, wanawake wengi watapenda zile zake. Kwa sababu na kuna marafiki wengi wanawake wananunua nguo nyingi sana. Si kama wanaume, utapata mwanaume ananunua nguo moja. Okay. Unaweza nunua nguo moja ama mbili kwa mwaka. So really? For ladies unapata this week amenunua, next week ananunua tena. So wewe mwanamke wenye unajua zile nguo wanawake wanapenda sana, enda kanunua hizo kuja tuuze tupate pesa. Then for her, I advise her to start that business as well as doing a career. So unapata pale unaweza anzisha biashara kama hiyo, na kama utaanzisha, tulianzisha mimi yake na mimi yangu, lakini yake ikafaulu kwa sababu ako na marafiki wengi. Wale wasichana
unfortunately for you
wanakuja kununua kwake, alafu unapata sometimes kwa simu ako na order nyingi za nguo ya wanawake. So ikakuwa hivyo sasa. So you see like in that line yeye ako mbele. Then for me, see like mwanaume sasa ni nini, what else can you do? Lazima kuwe na pesa nyingi ndio uanzishe biashara kubwa. No. Ladies unaanza anza, let's say for example with 5,000, something enough you can start a business with. And actually it doesn't matter which kind of business. Majority of the businesses are small businesses. With 5,000, 10,000, you can make it. Let's say kuuza nguo. Ukisema ni kuuza nguo za, unaweza anza kuuza nguo za watoto. Kuuza nguo za ladies, zile za zile mitumba. Zinaitwa second hand clothes. Yeah, such things.
Okay, Joram, if you'd agree with me, let's move on to where we try to find out before a person or a young generation. You're 26 years old right now. Yeah. That's a very young age with a big achievement, from the business of trucks up to your other kind of businesses which are putting you to the rightful place that you ought to receive or ought to get in the near future. Let's talk about the strategic plan before you actually ventured and realized that I, Joram, need to change and plan, the actual plan before you started working with your other businesses. Your beauty, is it a beauty parlor?
Beauty shop.
Your beauty shop. Yes. Your beauty shop, before you dived into all the matters, what are the plans or the strategy? Because I believe also you need to have a strategy before doing anything else in life. So before you started your hustles, what was your structure like?
Okay, when I came into this, let's say, beauty industry, it was a little bit challenging because I did not know what majority of women like. So I just said, let me just get into that field, I know everything. Having that, my strategic plan was that at one time I will be I will have a big shop for let's say a cosmetic shop whereby I can sell things in wholesale, be a supplier to many shops. So I said, before I come to that point, let me first see what happens, how these things have to go. Like, let me get familiar to the beauty shop, beauty shops, and know what are the likes of ladies, what are the likes of men, such a things. Then I said I should start a cosmetic shop, a small cosmetic shop. Then I said for me to supplement that shop, I needed to have a salon in the same house, because it was to boost the selling of my cosmetic items. So that's how I started. Then it came to a point whereby unapata pale, you know, watu wanakuja pale, kwa pale peke yako, masaa ingine hata kama naenda kuangalia biashara yangu napata wanawake pale peke yao, like I'm lonely. Then I said, wacha niongeze kinyozi hapo ndio wanaume.
You seized the opportunity and said
wanaume wakuja tu pale wakinyolewa, tuko pale tu na biashara ikakuwa. Then it was like an opening, because ukiangalia ni kinyozi, kuna saloni pale na cosmetic. So mwanaume akikuja pale, utakuja unyolewa na another man, then kidogo utaoshwa na a lady there. So I said, most of the times wanakaa bure pale. Huu wakati wanakaa bure, suppose afanye mtu massage.
Okay.
So unaona sasa.
So you developed one idea after the other.
Yeah. So ile masaa anakaa bure, badala aingia kwa simu anze kuchat, acha nimpatie kazi. So badala akae bure pale, wacha anze kazi ya massage. Wakati pale kwa kinyozi hakuna kazi, wacha nao watu wa saluni wakikuja, nyinyi wanaume muendelea kubomoa nywele.
Okay.
Kuna mtu anakuja so pale wanasaidiana kazi yote. So at the end of the day you find that ile place iko busy. Saa zingine wanaume jana pale watakuja, mtu anataka kusafisha kucha nini hizo vitu, vijana watafanya hiyo kazi. So at the end of the day I need to make sure that kila mtu ako busy. Ile capital, ile pesa tunapata pale maybe itatusaidia kulipa rent, kununua, kuongeza stock, such things as we grow up. Yeah.
Okay, let me talk to my viewer there. Tell us your view concerning the whole matter of hustles and what the youth normally go through. What kind of businesses should be started? And is it the market stiff? What other alternative could youth actually engage themselves in apart from actually highlighting, or rather making the employment, whether employed by the employer, to be the basic issue here? Let's talk about things which you could recommend for the young generations or the youth in this kind of era. And the COVID-19 pandemic is striking us all over, and we also heard that the curfew is extended to 60 days. Concerning the whole matter, what are other alternatives? Maybe you have an idea that could actually enlighten and brighten all of us at the same time. Now, I'd like to talk about the challenges so far you faced as an entrepreneur, you know.
Yeah.
I believe you're part of a man who achieved quite a little in quite a short time time.
Okay. What I can tell is that, you know, a business, it's like it has to have some challenges there. Even without the curfew, there are challenges which are there. And lazima utazipata pale. So what is there is that you have to manage time. Despite tumekuwa time limit na government, we still have to be like, you be prepared to work within this time. Like for my business, nilikuwa nishapanga even before the curfew. So kufungua kazi ni saa 1 na ifikapo saa 3 mnaweza mkafunga mwende kwa nyumba. So when the curfew was saa 1 kidogo, business, unajua wale watu wateja watakuja mapema. I mean watakuja, lakini wengine wanatoka mapema, so you get a point whereby you are running without customers. Wengine wataongopa kutoka, umetoka kazini, hakuna masaa ya kwenda huko kwa huko kwa nini, kwa kinyozi na saloon. So ile masaa kidogo imebaki ni utoke kazini, ukimbie uende kwa nyumba. So at some point we were running with no cash. But all in all, we had to give ourselves morale.
Didn't you go for loans?
Yeah, I actually have tried several times. Kidogo nikaona zinanikoroga. Then nikasema hii baada ni ya kuchukua loan unalipa, ile profit yote umemake, you just give it to the maybe to the financial, unabaki bila kitu. Kaona afadhali nianzishe na kidogo tu. You know, if you start with, let's say like ukipata ukiwa na 10,000, unanunua kitu kimoja. Kuna some businesses, let's say like a business ya chips. What do you need to start a business like that? You budget like with 20,000, you can prepare the whole apparatus ukwe nazo pale kuanzisha biashara kama hiyo. Then look alone, hiyo ni 20,000 ni nyingi sana. Tuanze na like 5,000. Na uanze kuuza manguo kidogo. For ladies, I can advise with that one, usiende kuuzia kwa nyumba. I mean, usiende kuuzia kukodisha nyumba. Wewe tuzungusha masaa ya jioni. Zungusha huko kwa watu kuja mtaani. You'll buy kidogo, you'll get your stock imeisha, unaenda unachukua ingine, unaongeza. It might come to a point whereby it will multiply. Definitely kama umenunua nguo 5 na umeuza, huwezi niambia utanunua nguo 5 uuze na ununue zingine 5. Ni lazima utanunua 6 ama 7. And through that one you find that you're growing, business ina grow until unafika mahali ambapo unaweza pata capital ya kufungua pesa ya kusimamia mlango, useme hii mlango sasa nitalipa. Yeah. But again, you know, sometimes kama hauna mahali pa kuanzia, if you can get a chance to get a loan, sawa. Bora you know how to manage it. Kila siku ukiuza hii, kuna ile unaweka kwa loan, kuna ile unaweka kwa stock, kuna ile unajiwekea, manake hautafanya kazi bila kukula. Hautafanya kazi bila kupata yako. You have to be very careful with that one. And for like a little bit of some like 1 year, nikianzisha hiyo biashara yangu, nimekuwa pale kidogo, kuna wengine wanaenda wanachukua loan. Unaangalia mtu amechukua loan, ameanzisha biashara, inafika hapo ndio ambaye amelemewa na kulipa ile loan. So creditors watakuja kuchukua pesa yao, utawatolea wapi? So still again you see, wakati unaanza ile biashara, kama unataka kuanza na loan, lazima ukuwe kwa sure that ile biashara unaanza kila siku lipa kwa loan. Usiweke yote, lipa kidogo and find that utapata manage all those issues.
Okay. Now, at a certain time, some who are, I want to go back to the graduates, especially because most of them have graduated this year. The system has always been going on through the years. You find that you attach, or not even the graduate actually, any person, you might attach like a lot of resume and then you apply for a job. Like 10,000 places you could ever imagine, you've taken your resume there, and then you don't find anything. And still there's that aspect to some of them that I can't do this kind of job.
Yeah.
For you, how was it like? Did you send resumes all over?
Yes, I have tried several times, but sometimes unatuma ukiwa na matumani ya kwamba utapata invitation to the interview, then you fail to get it several times, you might give up. But for me, I said, as I sent, I should get something else to do. And that's a time whereby I should advise people, if you can as well do your applications to those jobs, try and think of something that you can start. Try and think of that small business that you can start, regardless of ni haina gani, lakini anzisha biashara yako. Wewe tu kwa pale ile masaa, yes, umetuma application letter somewhere. You don't have to go kukaa kwa nyumba na kusema wacha ningojee mpaka niitwe. No. Go and find something else, do. Ile masaa barua unatuma like 30 minutes. You don't have to take long. What would you be doing the other hours? Go and try and find something else to do. See business. For me, what I would tell the young guys outside there, sometimes it is good. Sometimes it is good. You go to those people who have some businesses, try to talk to them. Ile biashara tu kidogo, hata kama ni ya kuuza mboga, na muulize muuzaji wa mboga pale, hii biashara yako ulianza vipi? How can I start mine? You can as well. You find that pale mtaani kuna many opportunities there. Hauwezi kosa kitu ya kufanya. If at all you want to do it. Majority huwa tunataka sana kukaa kwa simu online.
The online business are also actually taking pace at the time.
Ingia pale kwa business. Ingia pale kwa online. Advertise people's business. See what you can do there online. Actually, as we are talking now, I usually advertise.
Okay.
At the same time. Na wakati na advertise vitu za watu, pia na advertise zangu. So you see still again, you have smartphone. You have a lot of things to do. You have a lot of things you can do with your phone. Get money, get small capital. Uza vitu zako online. Zinaenda. Even without a rent to pay. Sometimes naweza uza TV. Naenda nanunua kwa duka, nakuja na kuuzia. Mimi napata profit. Naendelea.
Okay.
So, it is something that you can do. Unamwambia niko na TV nauza, umemtumia picha kwa WhatsApp anaona. Kwamba okay, leta pesa nikuletee. Hiyo pesa unachukua, eka profit kidogo. Mzie. As you're talking, sai niko na dealership na Hot Point, niko na dealership na...
How did you manage to get to those points? Before, yeah, you may ask, like, maybe somebody might want to know or understand, like, where do I start? You know, I've seen such a scenario. I've witnessed people being in such places whereby, okay, they're already starting. They're trying to work out with the little they have, but they do not know where to actually start as such.
Okay, for me, I can't sijui sasa nitaelezea aje manake. You know, it's like a situation whereby umejipata uko hapo.
Okay.
Ile tu naenda kwa duka. Mimi actually, I personally nienda kwa just a shop. Naenda nikapata ma TV nyingi ziko pale, nikajifanya mimi nanunua za duka yangu. Na sina duka.
Okay.
So pale nimeenda nimeulizia vitu. You know, sometimes you have to gain confidence. Pale nikamwambia sasa niuzie za ndila. Leo pale kwa ile duka akaniambia no, sisi hatuwezi tukakuuzia kama ndila, tunauzanga kwa retailers. I mean tunauza kama retail. Then nikamwambia how can I get connection? So akanipatia namba ya mtu that is a dealer wa Samsung. Tukaongea kidogo, tukaelewana, then nikamwambia ningependa tukutane tujue vile tutafanya biashara. So
it's all about using your mind right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So pale kidogo ikakuwa it's like okay, for me nilikuwa najua this idea, I had this in mind that my employer alikuwa anataka kuanzisha shop. Then when I brought that idea ya kuanzisha biashara ya kuuza household items, ikakuwa sasa tuanze kutafuta kule mtaani, ni wapi tutauza, ni nini tutauza. Then I started advertising things from other people's shop as if they are mine. So wewe ukiona kitu kwa my WhatsApp au my page unaitaka, nakwambia sawa hiko. Then pale yule mtu, let's say like yule dealer pale nilienda tukaongea, akaniambia atanipatia dealership ya Hot Point na Samsung.
Okay.
Na saa hiyo mimi sina duka, my boss naye bado alikuwa hiyo wakati ndio anatafuta mahali anafungua duka, akafungua duka. Tukafanya stock, tukapeleka huko. So mimi duka iko mbali, mimi niko pale kwa ofisi lakini bado nauza. So find something to do. Niko kwa ofisi nauza vitu zangu online kwa duka huko. I'm getting something little. Because hakuna vile nitauza kitu na ukose kunilipa.
True.
So that is it. Still again kuna something for those people wenye wametoka shule juzi ama wenye wako shule. So nowadays we have like online writings. Some people say that it is a bad job, but for me, I say it is nice. For those who can do it, you can as well go for it. Nimeona watu wengi wako huko na wameanza pale, na sasa wako na biashara zingine kubwa. Sababu ile biashara ya online writing, you start with no capital.
Yeah.
You just start with your head and your phone. You find that at the end of the day, you get something. If you have that capacity of trying to see what you can do in the future, you can as well save a little or get a little from that online writing or online business, and sasa anzisha kitu yako. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that the government has done enough in supporting the youth in terms of employment?
Actually, they've done nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, because ukiangalia sana, like sasa hivi najua tukatoka hapa, out of 10 people kwa street, utapata ni mmoja tu ameajiriwa, ama ni mmoja tu ako ako na kazi yake. Wale wengine maybe wanafanya kazi ya vibarua zile ambazo haziwezi zikamudu, haziwezi zikawezesha kukidhi mahitaji ya kila siku. So for me, wengi wao ni wale wameanzisha biashara na wale wako na akili ya kuanzisha biashara. Lakini ukisema in terms of employment. Pata kazi, no. The government has done a little in that sector. Yeah.
Okay, if you're joined in, this is the Umbrella Show with me, Dalila Hamza. We've discussed with the Joram things and matter of the youth's hustle and what youth are going through at the particular moment, and he's given his own experiences as a business person and how he started selling the potatoes from door to door, which is a great thing. Maybe your last remark or your parting shots as you advise the youth out there concerning the side hustles.
Pardon?
Your parting shot, your last review to the audience there concerning everything we've talked about, what would you advise them?
For me, what I can advise majorly the youth, because you know the generation to come. As much as you are going to look for those white-collar jobs, it is good to start that small business that you can manage. Ndaanzisha kabiashara kidogo tu. Haijalishi ni aina gani. Unajua siku hizi unasema kwa sababu mimi nimesomea kazi ya accountant, mpaka niingie kazi ya accountant ndio nitakuwa nimeridhika. No. Ndaanzisha biashara nyingine ilete pesa. And when you know when you're self-employed, you are in a better chances of succeeding than when you're employed. Utapata ile biashara yako inaweza kuwezesha ikakulisha, na pia at the same time some other expenses like kama unataka kuajiriwa, ile biashara yako ndio itakupatia fare kwenda kazi. Mshahara yako unaweza pata iko pale kwa account lakini hauinguzi. So for me, I would advise that as much as we can do, if you are employed, try and start your own business. We have very many business opportunities there outside. Kazi ni nyingi za kufanya. Hauwezi kosa biashara ya kuanzisha. Na you find that if you start it kidogo tu, utaona, oh, so this is possible, you can do it. Chani tuache hii mambo ya kusema eti ni lazima tuajiriwe, ni lazima tukue sijui tunafanya nini. No. Try and get an idea of your business. Not necessarily what you've trained to do but you can as well major other things out of your career, and you can as well do them better, you know. Majority ni wale watu ambao tunakaa unapata ile kitu umesomea hizo biashara hiyo, by the time unapata ile kazi ambayo umesomea, hata kama utaipata, you find that you are not getting enough for yourself. You cannot sustain the expenses that you have. So you have to start your own business if you don't want to go for loans. Sababu unapata nimeona huwa kuna system whereby watu wengi huwa tunawapatia loan. Na kwa hiyo system nimekuja ku realize that majority of the people wanakimbilia pale, unachukua ka loan. Ile ka loan ukichukua itakuwa it's like imekufunga. You can do nothing else. Lakini chukua ile hiyo loan umechukua like umelemewa na kulipa rent ya nyumba. At the end of the day utakuwa unakimbilia kuchukua loan pale ulipe nyumba, mshahara ikifika unalipa ile, una offset ile loan, unachukua nyingine. And it becomes a routine. So for me, I will as much say that it is not good to run for those loans when it is a matter of consumption. If you can do a business, you know, with the business you have something to regenerate. And that is what we can advocate when it comes to, if you want to grow, if you want progress in your life, don't go for things that you just consume and live at that point. No. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Joram, for coming in the studio. It's been a great, amazing session for both of us here. And I hope you've also learned quite a lot, as much as I did. I'll always say that accountability is a reflection of responsibility. let us keep the spirit of where we go for our own dreams. And we do hustles as well. It's not a must for you to be actually hired with the same job that you aspire to have. So long as it earns you a living and you are on the right track, well, that's well and good. I'd like to thank the Al Shifar team, starting with my director of the program, being Bragan Miner, together with Chido Spencer, and the Al Shifar TV General Director of all, Molly Mumaguzo. Thank you very much for making this broadcast come to light. And thank you as the viewer. You shall meet until next time. I'm Dalila Hamza.